good afternoon, and good evening to everyone and to all of the nurses out there. Welcome to our webinar today, and it's what's like visiting the United States. And we are joining by fresh from the Philippines. He's our director of case management and legal. He's Jeff Morales. Jeff, over to you.
Thanks, CJ. Hi, everyone. Again, I'm Jeff Morales. I'm I recently joined the organization just July 1st, and yeah, I'm just excited to be here. And currently, my role with Worldwide Health Staff Solutions is I'm overseeing the case management, legal operations, and the data entry team. So we're working hand in hand. Both are collaborating closely with both the Philippines and US teams. Yep, I think I'm really excited for this webinar. So thank you.
All right. So, um, can you tell us something about yourself? Like, what are your hobbies? Like,
Oh,
yeah, your background.
all right. Well, right now I think with the hectic schedule at work, during my spare time, I just like enjoy watching documentaries and movies. Sometimes, if time permits, I also like read books. I think that's all right now. Those are my interests.
Like, yeah, awesome, awesome, and yeah, and just like to all of the nurses out there, Jeff just arrived
Yep.
this week, here in our Charlotte office. So he's in the United States right now. So we're gonna like have a Q&A with him with like his experience in his visit here in the United States. So like first question, Jeff, what was your first reaction when you arrived here in the United States?
I would say because the first place, of course, obviously, is the airport. It's ginormous compared to the to where I'm from in the Philippines. So I arrived here through Atlanta, Georgia, and connecting flight to Charlotte, and both airports are so big. And I think that's my first impression in terms of infrastructure. Like compared to the Philippines, here the roads are, I would say, way bigger. And yeah, I think that's my very first impression. Like I'm impressed how the planning of the roads are compared to where I'm from. So that's my first impression.
Yeah, that's awesome. Yeah, and I agree with the roads, like, and also the cars here are really fast, like compared in our country in the Philippines. Uh, we're like our top speed, our limit in the Philippines is like 60
Like
miles or
60
70 miles.
miles, correct?
Yeah,
Yeah.
something like that. And here it's like it can go over.
Yep.
Yeah, cars are really fast. And also in the airports, it's like really like a significant difference. Okay, so next question is, how does the atmosphere or vibe in the U.S. Compare to that in the Philippines?
Um, how would I put it? I would say the it's very less congested here because where I think for those who are not from Manila or who are watching us, from where I'm from in Manila, it's very populated. And here in this particular part of North Carolina, it's less congested and we have like less people than what I used to on a day-to-day basis. Specifically as well, what I've observed is there are very less vehicles on the road, very few public transportation. So I think that's the I would say my first impressions as well in terms of comparing the atmosphere of between US and the Philippines.
Cool. Yeah, I agree. Next question. What were some of the biggest surprises or unexpected things you've noticed so far?
Hmm. Yeah, I was asked twice about of this question by my colleagues here in the office here in Charlotte. I would really say the southern hospitality. It's for me, it's the biggest surprise. Um, I have this somehow assumption that people might usually if for Americans they would mind their own business. And when I arrived on the hotel, like strangers would just like give you a nod or greet you here, which for me I was really surprised because I again my thinking was they just mind their own business, right? And if for me that's the most surprising part so far of my visit.
Yeah, good. Awesome. Um, let's see here. Next question. How have you found the food and dining experience compared to back home?
I think CJ I'm gonna gain like a few pounds. I think in terms of the food, the servings here are ridiculously bigger. Just for everyone's is watching, like their servings are based from ounces. So for example, if I get the smallest serving of a 6 ounce, I would say, you can portion it 3 times. That's how crazy the amount of the servings here, and you can eat it for breakfast, lunch, and dinner. Because I haven't somehow in all of the food that I've taken, I always like take it home, take it back to my hotel because the servings are ridiculously bigger. So I
Yeah,
think that's how I find the dining experience. What really like somehow yeah stood up the most.
yeah, correct. It's really huge. Like, um, I always think of like every meal that I order, like when I go out, like eat out. It's like one meal is I can compare that to like two two Filipino persons.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, it's really big, and also the drinks you can. It's like bottomless, unlimited. You can ask for a refill like in every restaurant, and also after you eat you can ask for a cup that you can bring outside,
Mhm.
bring home. Yeah, that's really really amazing. And also in my almost 3 years here in the United States I already gained like 20 pounds. So
Wow.
yeah, watch out. Like for all of our international nurses, it's like I'm gonna move here in the United States. Um, yeah, start a diet. Start your diet now because when you move here, uh, I'm pretty sure you're gonna gain weight. Okay, next question. Um, have you experienced any funny or challenging situations because of cultural differences?
I think the sense of humor here is different. I think that's one thing because I think the type of humor I'm accustomed to in the Philippines is a bit different here in the US. Like they somehow usually do self mockery and like throw out like sarcastic jokes. I think that's one thing that I'm because they're one of the staff in the hotel made fun of me during my first day here because when I went down and asked for a breakfast voucher because the accommodation comes with a free breakfast when I asked for the voucher that with a very like serious face he just asked, yeah, that's for $10. Then there was an awkward silence, like for a few seconds. And he would say, and then I told him, yeah, I thought the breakfast is free. And he said, just kidding, that's for me. So, and he didn't laugh at all, and he just gave me the voucher. So apparently that's a joke. So, I think that's one thing that is a bit like surprise. I would say like a funny or a funny experience or funny situation that I was in. The sense of humor is a bit different.
Cool, good to know. Cool, cool. Next question. Are there any particular places or attractions you're most excited to visit? Or have you gone into like any like um nice places already?
Yeah, I think for people that are for the nurses that are watching, I've seen few hospitals, few of our partners here, um, that maybe one of you are employed or looking forward to working with, like Novant, Atrium Health. There were like few hospitals that I've passed by here in this area. I think one thing that I'm looking forward to is in terms of attraction. I'm planning to go to Durham and either visit the University of North Carolina, because Michael Jordan obviously is my basketball hero growing up, and he is a Tar Heel. So yeah, that's one thing that it's kind of near here. I think it's a 2 to 3 hour drive. That's what I heard of. So I think that's one thing that I'm looking forward to this weekend.
Cool. And I heard that you went to like a Charlotte Hornets
Yeah,
game.
I went to Charlotte Hornets in the Spectrum Arena twice already. So because
Whoa.
we know that in the Philippines, basketball is religion. So one of my friends visited me here. He's staying in South Carolina last weekend, and he somehow we went together last Saturday to watch the Hornets versus Celtics play. Then last Wednesday night, I was with the entire legal operations because we also welcomed two new immigration lawyers here in the office. And we just dined out in the downtown area and just watched the Hornets play the Detroit Pistons. So that was a great experience as well.
Awesome. Awesome. Okay, next question. Are there any stereotypes about the US that turned out to be true or false?
I would say there's a couple I can like really think of right now. I think first off, in terms of food, before coming here, I was really preparing myself that I can't eat rice for a couple of weeks during my stay. And apparently that's obviously false. So on my first meal out when I went to one of the malls in this area last weekend, well, we ate rice. So that's one somehow false assumption about the US because we feel for at least for me I thought that it's always mashed potatoes and um
Pasta,
yeah,
like that.
pasta, and apparently that's not the case. You can definitely eat rice here. Secondly, I would say I think again I've mentioned I've touched this part earlier in one of the questions. At least for me, I really thought the Americans are generally not really like rude, but somehow they mind their own business, and I think that's a false assumption. I would say, at least on the southern states, southern part of the country, here in U.S. Here in North Carolina, again, as what I've mentioned, people are generally friendly and nice. I haven't encountered any somehow situation or bad experiences with people. Even here in the office, everyone seems nice. So it feels really home here. So yeah, those are the two things.
Yeah, correct. And people are always like smiling,
Yeah,
always they greet you all the time.
greet you
Even
always like
yeah, pass you by like the in the on the road. Like that's really li- like different from our hometown, like in the Philippines.
agree.
Yeah. Okay, next question. How has this visit changed your perspective in the U.S. and American culture?
I think I one thing because I've been here a week and think one there's only one part that really changed. It's more of I felt that it will be the difference between my home country, in the Philippines, and here would be very I would say distinct, or the difference is glaring in terms of the people that you will be surrounded with, and I think that's not true. Um, I feel home here, to be quite honest with you. It's not only because you're here, CJ. And you can well relate. We can definitely well relate, but even like all of the people here, it seems that you're still in Manila, Philippines, because how nice the people are. So at least that's from my experience here in the North Carolina area. So I think that's one thing. so far that has really changed my how I perceive of the US culture.
Yeah, good to know. Okay, so we're done with our last question.
Yep.
Um, so, what advice would you give to people or our nurses like planning to move in to the United States?
Think for me, you just have to prepare more than the physical aspect. It's really mental preparation and your emotional preparation. I think this is where you will get, if you prepare that, you will get more resilience through the adjustment phase once you come here in the US. Expect that it will be a rough, I would say, phase the first couple of months, because obviously you're adjusting to everything, your environment, the weather, the people that you're in, language. So expect that it will be a struggle. You might experience homesickness, and you will experience or encounter troubles adjusting to the new culture, the new environment. But I think you have to be remain steadfast and be strong, and that comes from your, like, fine tuning your mental state before coming here, and prepare that this will be a tough task, definitely. And also on top of that, you will be learning, or be employed of one of the facilities here in the US, and it's a new job, new challenges. So mental preparation for me is very, I would say, critical.
Yeah, correct. And also to all of our nurses out there, like before I moved here in the United States with my wife, like I was thinking like um, I won't see any different like races in the US. Like I will see like all Americans, but it's not. It's like America right now is pretty diverse. You'll see different cultures, different colors. So yeah, and also always, I'll say always be confident because I'm thinking, uh, like if you like one trait of like Filipinos, like we are really shy. We are really shy and like um so here like when you move in the United States, just be yourself, be confident, be all out. I think that will help you like moving here in the United States. Okay, so just for the webinar, Jeff. So, do you have any last thoughts, like any advice? Also, like who like um perspective here in the
Um,
United States for for
I
the
think
people
pretty
watching.
much we've covered it, but I just want to somehow address very quickly all of the nurses that are watching this webinar. Worldwide Health Staff Solutions remain to be committed, to definitely support you during the very long and tedious journey of your immigration. And if you have any definitely concerns, we're very transparent with our communication. So just definitely reach out to your case manager, to any of the leaders here in Worldwide Health Staff Solutions. We will definitely help you, as what I think you already know. Like, we have a very solid relocation team right now who will help you make that, somehow, that first 90 days of your migration here in the US to be as smooth as we could achieve. And that's our commitment to each of the nurses out there. So yeah, so thank you for everyone's time, wherever you are, this morning, tonight, this afternoon. So we'll see you again on the next week's webinar.
All right, thank you. And before I'll let you all go, just please follow and like us on Facebook for any immigration updates and new position updates. And also, we always have our webinar like weekly. And next week, we will have our webinar with Ron and Chris Masillo, and that'll be a great webinar for next week. So please like us and follow us on Facebook for that. And one more thing is, I want to tell you about this program that we have, like a refer a nurse program that Like every time you refer a nurse with us to us, um, you will earn up to $250. I will also put the link on the chat. Okay, that's in the chat. All right, so I think that's it. Thanks, Jeff, for participating for this
Appreciate
webinar.
the time as well, CJ.
Yeah, we really appreciate your time as well. So